The JP poll is released for week 13. The JP poll, many things, but rankings it is not. It is power ratings. It is spat out by the model every week. As you can see, these are not rankings. It's just neutral field favorability. And time again, people push back on it. Either number one, because they don't understand what it is, or number two, because they do understand what it is, but they don't like it. For instance, as I'll show you in just a second, Penn State is still in the top 20. And a couple of weeks ago, I told you Penn State was still in the top 20, and you were like, no way. Hey, what's Penn State done since then? So like everybody who tried to pick apart Penn State still being in this thing, where'd they go? Where'd they go, Jesse? I don't see them anymore. Jesse was one of them. So that's what we're doing here. Now let's start to lay it out, and then I'll walk you through some of this. Missouri is number 20 right now. Penn State's 19. So Penn State is still in this thing. Vandy's 18. Brigham Young is 17. Iowa is 16. A couple of really important notes here. Penn State is at 19. I don't know who's going to win the ACC championship game, but it's going to be probably Georgia Tech or Virginia or someone like that. I can guarantee you Penn State would be favored over the ACC champion no matter who it is on a neutral field. Make of that what you will. I never say that with anything more behind it. That doesn't mean Penn State deserves to go to the playoff. It doesn't mean anything other than what it means. This is just a helpful tool, a helpful resource. A lot of you find it interesting. If you don't, this is probably not the segment for you. Move on. But Penn State will be favored over the ACC champ. I don't care which of those teams it is. Brigham Young at 17 is very noteworthy. This is the highest they've been all year. They got a 2.25 point bump from their win last week. The win over TCU is the most impressive thing Brigham Young has done all year from the model's perspective. They got a huge boost from that. And they're top 20 now. Iowa's number 16, just kind of holding steady. USC's number 15. Oklahoma's number 14. Oklahoma is still going to be well behind Alabama. They're going to be well behind Texas. They're going to be behind Tennessee. I'll talk about that in a second. Miami is 13. Tennessee's 12. Texas is 11. So if you look at Oklahoma being behind Tennessee, and you're like, we beat them on the road, it's true. Which means you got to win on the road, and they can never take it away from you. And Tennessee got a loss, and they can never take it away from them. This is not about that. It's about neutral field favorability. And Tennessee would be favored against Oklahoma on a neutral field if they play tomorrow. That's it. That's all. That's all. Now, you would be free to bet Oklahoma. I may join you. Texas at 11. I don't know what to tell you. Texas would be favored. They also faced you on a neutral field and beat you. So in that case, we have an anecdotal result. It's not anecdotal. It involves the two teams, but that at least supports our theory here. But even if you've lost, or even if you've beaten teams above you, it doesn't automatically change what this would be. What else did I want to point out there? Oh, yeah, and Alabama's going to be well ahead of them, too. I don't really think Oklahoma fans would argue Bama would be favored. No, now, it doesn't matter with the outcome because you beat them. So, again, I want to emphasize there's a big difference between who'd be favored and who's won the games. Number 10 is Texas Tech. Hey, wait just a second. I appreciate you guys watching. Most of you are subscribed. If you're not, please do so. It's free. It helps us keep the show free, and that's how we do college football year-round. All right, back to the video. Number 9 is Utah. Guys, I disagree with it, too. If Texas Tech played Utah on a neutral field today, I'd pick Texas Tech. I'm just telling you the model would slightly favor Utah. And I don't know. I'm not sure what it's seeing. I'm just telling you what it's saying. I'm not ever saying it's flawless. I've never said that. I'm just giving you the information to do with what you will. I also think FanDuel would disagree with this. In fact, I know they would, which just goes to show you this is not me taking FanDuel data and dressing it up as our own, because I promise you Texas Tech would be favored against Utah if they played. So clearly that's not what we're doing here. Ole Miss is at number 8. Ole Miss dropped a little bit after last week, actually. Oregon is at 7. Notre Dame is at 6. Alabama has dropped to 5. A&M is at 4. Yes, there's big movement here. Indiana is 3. Georgia has vaulted to number 2 in the JP poll. And Ohio State is number 1. So a couple of fun nuggets here, immunity. Ohio State, right now, according to the model, would be favored by nearly 4 touchdowns against Virginia, 26. I mentioned that because Virginia could very well win the ACC. Ohio State could win the Big Ten. Ohio State's favored to win it all right now. That just goes to show you we can't even say Power 4 champion anymore because there could be a 4-touchdown gap between a couple of Power 4 champions. These things are not all the same. Secondly, Georgia has skyrocketed. They jumped 2.5 points. Their raw power rating jumped 2.5 points after the Texas game. Georgia would now be a 2.3-point favorite over A&M and a 2.8-point favorite over Bama. Of course, you're not going to favor a team by 2.3. So the model would have Georgia -3 against Alabama in Atlanta, Georgia -2.5 against A&M in Atlanta is what that boils down to. And Indiana's just still sitting there at number 3. So that's where we are right now. I will say this, through no fault of Ohio State's, there has been at least a little bit of compacting at the top. Ohio State would still be a solid favorite against everybody, but there has been a little bit of compacting at the top at least. A couple of weeks ago, we announced our partnership with the Magnolia Foundation. The Magnolia Foundation was started by a buddy of ours named Matt. He lives in nearby Cookeville, Tennessee. There was a tornado that came through here March 3rd of 2020. It hit my building. I was in it. Matt's house took a direct hit several miles to the east of here. He lost his little girl in that tornado. There were, I think, 23 or 24 fatalities during that tornado. She was one of them. They realized the burden that the expense of losing a loved one, especially a child, can put on a family. They went through it. And so shortly thereafter, they started the Magnolia Foundation. The Magnolia Foundation's purpose is to assist with people who have lost children, ages 0 to 18. And it helps with funeral expense, and it helps with all kinds of expenses that pop up afterwards. Counseling, for example, commemorative care, those sorts of things. That's where the Magnolia Foundation comes in. So I've known Matt for a little while. We've talked about how we can partner. We finally made it happen. So you can do a couple of different things. You could go to the Pate State store right now because we've got an entire Magnolia Foundation line of merchandise. So proceeds from that, 50% of those proceeds go to the Magnolia Foundation, but you can also just go to the Magnolia Foundation's website if you want to bypass the purchase of a hat. Now look, those hats look really good. Okay, those t-shirts look really good. I've got some in my apartment right now. But if you're not interested in that and you just want to contribute directly, you can go to the Magnolia Foundation's website directly. Many of you have. I have gotten feedback that a lot of you have left comments over there. Like I told you last week, one guy made a sizable donation and then said, could you please tell him to talk about Indiana on the show more? That was the condition under which they made a contribution to the Magnolia Foundation. Detroit Airport stepped up. Our friends at the Detroit Airport stepped up. More information on that in the near future. I mean, really stepped up. Really stepped up. So, I mean, if you're listening out there at Hartsfield, at Shuttlesworth, at BNA, the Detroit Airport has stepped up big time for the Magnolia Foundation. I just want it to be known. It wasn't an airport in the South that stepped up. It was Detroit that stepped up. And we appreciate them.